Hi everyone, my name is Karuna and I'm here to talk to you today about grapefruit and the wonders and healing benefits of grapefruit. So this is an oil known as an oil for honoring the body. And oftentimes people are most familiar with grapefruit oil because of its weight management issues, and it can curb cravings and it can help to reduce the appearance of cellulite. So let's talk a little bit about the energetics of grapefruit, and then we'll get into the healing benefits, okay? So I just wanted to talk about how grapefruit is an essential oil that teaches respect and appreciation for one's physical body. So it supports individuals who struggle to honor their body or are caught in patterns of mistreatment or self-abuse, right? Who's familiar with that? Um, the forms of abuse may include severe dieting, judging one's body type, abusing one's body through negligent behavior, or even violence. These acts are often motivated by a lack of self-love and deep feelings that are buried within the psyche of self-disrespect. So grapefruit oil is an essential oil to help restore our relationship with our own body so that we're not self-obsessing on every little thing, not nitpicking, not trying to be a perfectionist with ourselves, but moving more into that mode of acceptance. And when we can accept, there's a deep sense of grace and honoring, right? So grapefruit oil is also often misused to be overly strict with one's diet or with weight loss programs because of the things that I had previously mentioned. So one of the reasons that this oil helps curb emotional eating is because it encourages positive feelings of a relationship with our body based on love, tolerance, and acceptance. So it teaches integrity, respecting our own needs, being able to voice what we need, and knowing that no amount of food can fill a hole of emptiness in the heart, right? That has to come from deep within. So this is an essential oil that I invite you to, if you have it, open up your bottle and let's put a drop in our hands. And I should mention, since I'm living at the beach, it is a photosensitive oil, just like all citrus oils. So we don't want to put it topically on our skin and go directly out in the sunlight. So when I use citrus oils, which are just invigorating, they're stimulating, they're radiating, they really kind of get the fire going. So it's very great. It's a great oil to stimulate people who are dominantly kapha or tend to lack some motivation. And then since I can't put it on my skin topically, I'll just put it on my clothes so that I can smell it. You can also put it on the soles of your feet, which is a great place because that is an area of the body that will absorb it through the bloodstream within 2 to 20 minutes. So it's also a great oil to diffuse if you have a diffuser. And you can also put it in a glass of water. So if you have a glass, not plastic, you can put a drop of grapefruit oil in there and begin to flavor your water. So I hear a lot of people say that they don't like to drink water. They don't like the taste of water. So putting citrus oils in your water is a really great method to help you drink more water to stay hydrated. So let's talk about the spiritual uses of grapefruit. So this has a high vibration. And when you sit and meditate with the smell of grapefruits, You can just imagine that you're in some Mediterranean place where the citrus grow vibrantly. And as you sit among the scents of grapefruit, see where it takes you. And this is how we become familiar with how to work with plants, is we just sit and we commune with the plants. We begin to receive the scents deep into every single cell in our body, and we can receive those messages. So plants seem to have messages unique to each individual, just as we are all unique. So it helps us to also open our meditation and our prayers and connect with the archangels, especially Saint Germain, Archangel Camille, Jophiel, Metatron, Michael. And this assists in bringing back good memories and the pure teachings of ancient wisdom past. Emotionally, we use this grapefruit oil, which comes from the pink fruit, the pink variety. And we use it to open our heart to receive blessings. So one of the reasons that I wore pink is to reflect that sense of youthfulness, right? Pink it reminds me of ripe. So when we have a grapefruit, nice, big, juicy, ripe grapefruit, and it reminds us to receive joy, move into our bliss. It invokes feelings of comfort and support and of the connection with the kindred spirits all around us. We can also use it to develop a stronger sense of self. So think of the color wheel of the rainbow, and then think of that as it correlates to our energy system, the subtle energy system in our body, the chakra system. So we could correlate grapefruit being a citrus oil, that pinky color, kind of with Manipura, the third chakra, even though that's a bright yellow. These citrus fruits are solar powered by the sun, so we can also use that to strengthen Manipura. So this oil helps us to also remove doubt and fear. And remember, when we're dealing with the third chakra, this can either prohibit us from moving forward into the future, or it can keep us feeling stuck in the past, right? So that can express itself in our body by being very stiff in that area and having a challenging time with back bends. So what I've been doing as of late is I've been coordinating my Monday morning yoga class and the yoga and aromatherapy class that I teach with the oil that I'm teaching of the week, so that we can learn more in depth about the oil and actually put it into use in our practice, which I find so great because I love to use myself as an experiment. And then we can talk from authenticity about our own use of it, right? Okay, so it helps us to develop that trust in ourselves and our body and develop deep, loving relationships. And it also helps people return to joy after periods of grief. And I know that a lot of people have been experiencing some really challenging times over the last year plus. So this is an oil that can really help uplift and support your mood, relax the nervous system. And historically speaking, grapefruit has been used for so many different purposes, addictions. So one of the ways that we can use it is we can apply it topically, or we can use it aromatically. And remember, with doTERRA, we can use these oils internally as well. So say you have some food cravings or food addictions. What you can do, and what I like to do, is I like to just touch the top of the bottle, because you'll notice that it's moist and your finger will pick up that oil, and you can just put it right on the tip of your tongue, especially if you have food cravings. And this is going to help satiate that food craving so that you don't snack in between meals, for example, because in Ayurveda, when we snack in between meals, that's a sign to our digestive system that we are not done eating. And our doTERRA Agni, that digestive fire within, never really gets a chance to work, because the digestive system doesn't ever really turn on if you're constantly putting food on top of food on top of food. And that's what we do when we're snacking in between meals, because we never give our system a chance to fully digest. So just something to think about when next time you want to grab a snack. Oftentimes it may be a sign that you're just thirsty. So you can use your drop of grapefruit oil and then take a sip of water. So good. Okay, so it's cold pressed from the rind, which means when you peel the the rind off the fruit of the grapefruit or any citrus oils that we're talking about with doTERRA, as a matter of fact, when you peel the rind, and there's little porous holes in the rind, and oftentimes when we peel it, we pop those essential oil vessels there, and it squirts out the oil. So we get the essential oil from the rinds, and historically, not only has it been used for addictions, not only for food cravings, but you can also use it for drugs, alcohol, any kind of eating disorders. Let's go through some other things. So it's also used as an appetite suppressant. It's used for people suffering from bulimia. It's used for cellulite, like I was talking about in the beginning. You can dilute grapefruit oil. I like to put it in a little spray bottle right here. You can dilute that and then just put several drops in this bottle. This is, I think it's a 4-ounce bottle. And then you can fill the rest with a carrier oil. And then you can spray this on your skin. But remember, don't go out in the sun directly within 12 hours of doing so. So if you're going to do that, you can put it on at night, in the evening, before you go to bed. And that way there's no risk of being burned or having your skin stained by the sun by using this oil topically. It's also used for a dry throat. So if you've noticed, I've been kind of a little bit, because I'm living on the beach. It's very dusty and sandy and windy. So that has a very drying effect on the throat. So as I put a drop on my tongue and drank some water, hopefully we'll see at the end of this conversation if that alleviates any dryness of the throat. Grapefruit is also really good when you use it topically for edema. So edema is also a kapha issue. And remember, we had talked about how grapefruit is balancing to kapha dosha. It's stimulating, it moves a stagnant energy. So if anyone is suffering from edema, which is excess water collecting in the body, you could give yourself a massage. So you could take that spray bottle, as I talked about, with your diluted grapefruit oil in a carrier oil, and then you could gently massage that into your skin from the feet, moving up, moving toward the heart. So you want to move that lymph up and out and get that really stimulated. It's very similar to when you're doing dry brushing, which is known as Gashana or Garshana in Ayurveda. And that has the same method. You're moving from the periphery, from the outer to the core, to the midline. Okay, and then you're moving up and away from the midline here. So so for edema, it's also good for gallbladder stones because it has the ability to break up those stones. And a good way to do that is you could take it internally, or you could do a very old time remedy known in Ayurveda and do castor oil packs. And what you could do is you could warm up the castor oil, and you could, after you warm up the oil, you could add a few drops of the grapefruit oil and soak a piece of wool or felt in there, and then squeeze that out, bring it out so that the oil is not going to go everywhere. Put that on the area, you know, the gallstones, or if you need to do a lymphatic decongestant, you can do that with the herbal poultices, and you can help move lymph and decongest the gallstones that way and decongest the system. So it's also great to alleviate mental stress, because grapefruit, you really can't help smile when you're around citrus oils. They just have this effect on the brain that is signaling the brain to kind of turn on and uplift. Grapefruit is also used after a miscarriage. You can use it topically, and what this does is it helps to relax the uterus after a miscarriage. And it's also great for people who are suffering from obesity. So again, that's a sign of stagnant kapha energy. So one just needs to get that energy moving, and grapefruit helps doing that. So you can do massages, self massages, or if you go see a massage therapist, you can ask them to put a few drops of grapefruit oil in that carrier oil that they're using, and you know, help to stimulate your lymphatic system that way. It also is good for overeating, because when you put a drop on the tip of your tongue or you smell it, it kind of satisfies or suppresses that sensation or feeling of need to eat or overeat. And it also helps to alleviate performance stress, PMS. It's slimming and toning. It reduces all kinds of stress in general, and helps with the symptoms of withdrawal. Okay, so not only does it help one get through addictions, but it also helps to alleviate the symptoms. Okay, so we can also apply it neat to the skin, but anytime that we're applying essential oils neat to the skin, know that they are going to evaporate off the skin much more quickly than a heavier oil. Citrus oils tend to be a top note, so they're light. So we can kind of figure this out intuitively, or as we apply some principles of Ayurveda. Think of a tree, or let's think of a grapefruit tree. So we'll think of a grapefruit tree, and it's rooted down in the earth. It's got the long trunk, and these trees can grow up to 20 feet or more. They're expansive, they're radiant, their leaves and branches are reaching out to the sun, and they produce fruits that are big and ripe and reflective of that solar energy, right? So when we're using these oils and we apply them neat, and these fruits are growing more toward the top of the plant, we can kind of correlate that. Okay, so top of the plant, they're light, and it's more evaporative. So just think of that when you're mixing these with your blends. Okay, so when you're adding grapefruit or citrus oils to a blend that you're making for whatever reason, whether it's just for the pleasure of the scent or for a healing remedy, then know that when you open that bottle and you smell that blend, the citrus oils or the grapefruit oil is going to be the scent that your nose is going to recognize immediately. And then when you put it on, that's the scent that you'll smell first. And then you'll notice that that fades away rather quickly. And it's those heavier oils that are going to really linger and be more lasting. So let's see. So a blending classification for grapefruit would be that it's a modifier or an enhancer to your blend, and it blends well with think of oils that are going to, or plants that are going to reduce excess kapha dosha, okay, which are mints, citruses, and spices, okay, herbaceous oils. So we could blend it with grapefruit and basil, bergamot, cypress, frankincense, blends really nice with wood oils. Flowers like geranium or lavender or ylang-ylang, or mints like rosemary or peppermint. Okay, so its chemical constituents are heavy in monoterpenes, and it's got up to 95%, which is a huge amount, and also D-limonene and alpha-pinene. So those are some of the chemical constituents that people may be most familiar with if you're studying the chemical constituents of essential oils. And if not, I may be speaking Greek to you, so I'm just going to kind of skim over that, but know that these different monoterpenes, aldehydes, ketones, alcohols, these different chemical constituents actually affect the brain and mix with the body on a cellular level in a multidimensional way. So these essential oils have cellular intelligence. So if we are using an essential oil, say grapefruit, for an addiction, it's one of the side benefits it's going to have. It's going to uplift your mood, right? So it's it's very, very interesting about that. So I can feel it kind of breaking up whatever is kind of congested in here. So I'm just giving a little feedback on how it's working on my throat. Probably should drink some more water. Need to fill my glass. Next time I'll have a full glass. Okay, so the properties that these chemical constituents have will be a little bit more easy to understand because it's in a language that we understand, because we may not understand the science so much. So it acts as an antidepressant. It acts as an antiseptic, a disinfectant, a diuretic, stimulant, and it's a tonic. And in French medicinal uses, they used it to address cellulite, digestion, lymphatic decongestion, and water retention. And other possible uses, it may help with cancer, depression, eating disorders, fatigue, jet lag, liver disorders, migraine headaches, premenstrual tension, stress, and the sympathetic nervous system. Oh, and stimulating the sympathetic nervous system. And it also may have a cleansing effect on the kidneys, the lymphatic system, and the vascular system. So amazing, right? That one little fruit, or actually it's a big fruit, it's not a little one. It's a big, heavy lunker. Okay, so one thing that I wanted to share with you as we close is a practical recipe of how you can actually get some grapefruit oil into your system in a really delicious way by simply making a smoothie. So there's 2 different smoothie recipes that I've got for you. And, you know, basically they're same. You can either use a whole raw or frozen banana and stick that in a blender. You can either use frozen strawberries or fresh strawberries. You can use some orange juice, depending on how thick you want your milkshake. I mean, not your milkshake, your smoothie. You can adjust your liquid of orange juice. Or if orange juice feels like it's too much or it's too acidic to your system, if you have high pitta, it might be too much. You may want to substitute that with just water or something more cooling like coconut milk or something, or coconut water. But there's so many different choices, any kind of nut milk, depending on what you need to bring into balance. So you can also add a couple tablespoons of peanut butter and blend that all together in your blender. And unless you have a metal blender or a glass blender, don't put your essential oil in a plastic blender, because the citrus oils will actually leach the plastic, and you don't want that you don't want to drink that plastic. So one of the reasons why it does that is because citrus oils recognize plastics as a petrochemical, which is a toxin. Okay, so it will begin to break it down. So you never want to put citrus oils in plastic containers, only glass. So you would pour that mixture in your glass, add a drop of grapefruit oil, and just swirl that around with your spoon or your metal straw, and then just drink that. You can also, as an alternative, you can add 2 handfuls of fresh spinach and eliminate the nut butter or the peanut butter. And instead of adding the orange juice, you can add water instead, and you can make it more of a green drink. Okay. So those are a couple alternatives, and then just add, again, a drop of grapefruit to that. So I hope that you found that useful and you put it into use for yourself in your daily life. And if you have any comments, please comment below. And if you like this video, please like it and share and subscribe. You know what to do. And let's connect on social media. All right, friends, thank you so much. Many blessings. Namaste.